Today's haunting story is about Waverly Hills Asylum, located in Louisville, Kentucky. This asylum opened in 1910 as a tuberculosis hospital, designed to isolate and treat patients suffering from the deadly disease. The asylum tried to cure tuberculosis by spreading good vibes and peace. The asylum had two open-air pavilions that had no windows, bringing in the fresh air. As the disease spread, Waverly Hills opened another larger building to house patients transferred from other hospitals nearby. Waverly Hills also built a pavilion for children whose parents were ill with tuberculosis, and it also housed the sick who were young. Finally, in 1926, Waverly Hills opened another building that had 450 more beds to take in more people with early tuberculosis and those who were in the final stages of the disease. As time went on, new procedures became available. Thoracoplasty. This was a surgical procedure where ribs were removed to collapse a lung, allowing it to rest and heal. It was a painful and invasive procedure with a high mortality rate. Pneumothorax treatment. In this procedure, doctors deliberately collapsed a patient's lung by introducing air into the pleural cavity. The idea was to allow the lung to rest and heal, though it was often dangerous and had mixed results. Artificial pneumothorax. A variation of the pneumothorax, this treatment involved repeatedly collapsing a lung over time, sometimes for months or years, in an attempt to control the disease. Patients would have to endure repeated punctures to the chest. Fresh air treatment. Fresh air was considered crucial for TB patients. The facility was designed with this in mind, with many patients spending most of their time outside, regardless of the weather. The belief was that the fresh air would help their lungs heal, even though this did little to actually cure the disease. The name of this tunnel became known as the body chute. To comfort the existing patients, the staff started to transfer the dead through a hidden tunnel. So many bodies were being moved from one part of the facility to the morgue, but this started to take a toll on the patients who were still sick and staying at the asylum. In the 1940s, there was a drug that was introduced for tuberculosis. This alleviated the need for such a large facility to house the sick, and it closed its doors in 1961. Other sickening tactics were used, and thus the facility operated until 1982, when it was closed because of mistreatment of patients and violations. In 1962, the state of Kentucky purchased the asylum to use as a nursing home, and the name was changed to Woodhaven Geriatric Center. During the years at Woodhaven, many patients were subjected to electroshock therapy, and it was thought of as very effective for many ailments. Some report ghostly sightings in Waverly Hills. Many people claim to see a man in a white coat walking in the kitchen and footsteps in the dining room. On the 5th floor, room 502 is where many see apparitions in the window, and hear disembodied voices. In room 502, stories tell of a woman who was 29 years old committing suicide in this room through a light fixture on the ceiling. Another nurse in 1932 was said to have jumped to her death from this room out the window, forming several stories. Would you like to visit Waverly Hills on a dark, stormy night? Leave your comments below, and if you have any experiences here, I would love to hear about them.